What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome, podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Sunday, August 4th, 2019. I'm your host, Ken Pescator, joined by one co-host today, Adam Tuttle.
I'm Melissa.
Yeah. Melissa is on vacation right now, visiting her mom in Florida. So,
drinking lots of orange
some
juice.
can say that I'm on vacation at home, doing nothing. So it's great. But no, we're not alone today. We do have a guest. We are joined by TSlayers. TSlayers, how are you, man?
Doing pretty good. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, awesome.
You
You were recommended by the community. I put a post out on Twitter saying, "Hey, I want to bring some tubers on. Who do you guys want to hear from?" And a bunch of people said you. So here you are, and I'm really excited to get to know you and learn about your process, your channel, and all that stuff. We'll get to that in just a moment. Little housekeeping really quick, guys. This podcast is powered by Patreon. Please check ours out over at patreon.com/PokemonProfessor, where you can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people.
It sure is.
And I want to give a huge shout-out to our show supporter tier patrons, Brittany J, Matt, M. Pitts, Terry, David, Chris, Sydney, Bacon L, The Noise, Harry, Pokenabbot, Purple Pancakes, Dem Gears Be Bangin', Lady Goobly Meat, Super Nerd Fox, Go Ranger Matt, Reversal, The Phoenix, Baker Boy, Jolt Switch, Alex, and upping his patronage this week to the show supporter tier, Illustrious Overseer. Thank you guys so incredibly much for that. Also, shout out to Adam and Billy for joining at the Discord tier. And,
Thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you so much. Huge shout out to our executive producer, Paul Bott, and our Elite Four patron, Jessica Pfeiffer. Also, Illustrious Overseer has a new YouTube channel. I'll link to it in the description. Make sure you check it out. He's doing some good stuff on YouTube, and I'm thoroughly enjoying his videos. He takes a little bit of a different take because he has a pretty significant VGC background, so he applies some of those things to Go, and it's pretty fucking good. So check that out for sure. If Patreon isn't your thing, there's a few other ways you can help us out. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you're listening via a podcast service like Apple Podcasts, take a moment to leave us a review. 5 stars are the best stars. All right. On today's show, we're going to get to know TSlayers. Ralts Community Day happened yesterday. Go Fest Yokohama is this week, so starting tomorrow. So by the time this airs, it'll be in the middle of Go Fest Yokohama, which means new global challenge, new shinies, all that good stuff. We'll break it all down. There's a new gifting event. Pokemon Go is coming to Worlds. This is freaking huge. PvP is starting to take off. I'm really excited about this. And Team Go Rocket's presence is growing. We'll dig into the new updates there. And then we have a bunch of listener emails, and they're all about PvP. I'm very freaking excited. All right, TSlayers, how are you, man? Why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself? Let us know about you, where you're from, about your channel, and we'll get some of the formalities out of the way, and then we'll start talking about your content.
All right. My name is TSlayers, and I make Pokemon Go vlogs and streams, and my YouTube channel is TSlayers, of course. My Twitch channel is TSlayers89. I do a lot more live streams recently. Been a little busy with work and stuff, so I'm able to get off work, do a little bit of live streaming, and try to be, a little bit out there more with the community, live streaming a whole lot more. I think I like live streaming a little bit more, like I said. So
nice. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that a lot of people, especially when they start a YouTube channel, they were doing the live stream thing, and then YouTube kind of changed their restrictions with allowing people to live stream. You had to have a certain amount of subs, and that kind of created this massive barrier to entry for a lot of Go streamers, because it was really easy for people to just get up there and start streaming. And when they implied that 1,000 sub restriction, it kind of moved a lot of people over to Twitch, and Twitch reaped the benefit of that. So I was definitely watching some of your content with you hunting Team Rocket over on Twitch. So yeah, it's good stuff, man. Definitely cool. What's your history with the Pokemon franchise? Is Go where you've started with Pokemon, or have you have any experience with the franchise prior to Go?
I grew up probably around about 8 or 9 when Pokemon came around. Game Boy Color. My first game that I actually owned was Pokemon Silver back in the day, and I put about 200 hours into it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
I put a butt ton of hours into silver. So it's part of the reason why I got glasses and contacts now. staring at a small screen for 200 hours as a kid was probably not the greatest thing, but I was addicted to it. So Pokemon Silver was my first one. Then I eventually got Yellow later on. So I started out with second gen, but I knew first gen, but I didn't have a Game Boy at the time that had red and blue when they first came out. I got Color for my Game Boy Color for my birthday, and I got Pokemon Silver with it, and I've been hooked ever since. I haven't played a whole lot of the core games throughout the DS and stuff. I did play a little bit of X, and then when Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I definitely got back up on that, and I'm definitely going to get Sword and Shield later on when it comes out this year too. So
nice.
I missed a little bit about, I know Gen 1 through 3 and 4 pretty good. Gen 5 through 6 and 7, it's kind of, I don't really know like a super much about it. So I did, when I got, I don't know, probably about mid-teenage age, I was playing some other games and stuff like that. So, but Pokemon's never left me. The love of the franchise came back definitely when Pokemon Go came out because I like being outside and doing things. So this game just, made me fall back in love with Pokemon all over again, just to be back at it and hardcore grind it and do live streams and vlogs now. So it's definitely changed my life.
No, that's really cool. I mean, it's, whenever we have guests on, it's typically the same, where they're into it as a kid, or when the franchise first came to the States, they were really heavy with it, and they might have taken some years off or even come back a couple times and faded away a couple times. But that's one of the beauties of Pokemon, and especially this community at large. It's it always stays with you. Yeah, it stays with you. So even if you take a couple of years off, whenever it is a time to come back, we welcome you with open arms. And Go did that for a ton of people, and I was someone that, started with the anime and the TCG, and, I played the early games, but I didn't play Gens 4 or 5. I didn't really play those games much at all. But I was still into the culture and the clothing and the merchandise and the anime and all that.
Right.
And then, when X and Y came out, I played through that. I played through Sun and Moon and all that stuff. And, I didn't even really play that much of Let's Go. I got to Fuchsia City, got to Go connectivity, got my Meltan, and fell off. But, it's...
Speaking of Meltan, I just connected and dropped a bunch of Ekings and coughing.
Oh, yeah? Did you?
And I got a Meltan box.
Oh, wow.
And I
nice. They need to make like shiny Meltan like a normal thing.
Yeah, they really need to.
Because I stopped doing the whole Meltan thing, and then when they were like, "All right, shiny Meltan's back," it's like, "Oh shit, I better fire up, Let's Go again." And since then I haven't, since that event ended again, I still haven't been back. So I'm a bad trainer.
Oh no, I'm the same way. I'm the same way because I'm just like, okay, well, let's back shiny. What every 2 or 3 months they've done that now since it came out, twice. And I'm just like, why can't it just be shiny all the time? Because then it'll give me more reason to go back to the game and
absolutely.
Yeah, it is like, I guess is that basically their first Pokemon that they've put out to be shiny and then take it away from us and then give it back and take it away again?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can kind of say that they might have done that with Delibird, even though we haven't seen it back since it's been shiny. But it was, they've done it passively because when Magnemite came out as a shiny, or even Taillow, like it went away for a little while and kind of everyone was like, is it here or not? And there was no reports of it. And then all of a sudden it started showing up again. But definitely weird, definitely strange. Yeah, man, I'm really hoping that with Sword and Shield, there's, better integration between the two games. I'm confident there's going to be something better than what we saw with Let's Go, but they haven't
even
told
if there's
us
like a
anything.
specific Pokemon that you have to raid, but like it's an at-home raid, so you can get your friends wherever you are and just do a raid.
Yeah.
What if they do like Gigantamaxing or Dynamaxing or something like that and Go? Oh man, there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of opportunity. I can't wait, but
it's very interesting to see how the raids will go on Sword and Shield. It's gonna be really interesting, and I wonder if we'll have another type of like a Meltan box or something like that. I don't know.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, they got to do something. There has to be. I think that the lesson learned from the Let's Go integration was that the Go players at least are hungry for a little bit more than just a simple integration of one thing to do or even just a basic Go Park. There has to be something a little bit more where to hold their interest and keep them engaged with the game, and not just use it as a tool to get something back to Go, because then it doesn't put them in front of the Switch. It just puts them back in front of their phone. So, we'll see what happens, but I'm sure the details will come, and maybe after Worlds or something, we'll get some new details there.
Yes, I was thinking about going to Worlds. I wish I was able to make it. I went to Chicago for 5 days and stuff, so it kind of went back to the savings a little bit. Spent some of it there in Chicago. So I was like, I'd like to go to Worlds, which I think Worlds. See, I live in Virginia. It's probably about a good 8 or so hour drive, which really wouldn't be too bad. But the schedule kind of felt kind of weird for me, so I wasn't able to take time off work to go up there and do it for like another.
And where exactly are you from?
Virginia. I'm near
Virginia.
Bristol,
Right.
Tennessee. If anybody knows about NASCAR racing, that's where I always tell people I'm near the racetrack. It's about 30 minutes away from the racetrack. So that's our biggest landmark. I can tell people where I'm at. So.
I'm in Jersey. Adam is in New Hampshire. So we're all on the East Coast.
Okay.
But
East Coast.
shit, man, I didn't know people in Virginia had like Southern accents like that.
Oh yeah.
It was like, because I would go down to Tennessee, like the border of North Carolina and Tennessee. I used to go down to the tail of the dragon to go, do some driving on the mountains, and
right.
so I would be down and spend some time in Tennessee and all that good stuff. But I haven't spent too much time in Virginia. Back in the day when I used to tour with the bands, I used to be in Virginia a lot. But I've been to Bristol, not for NASCAR, okay. But I've been to an auto event at the Speedway. So. That's good to know. It's cool. So you're not far, man. You're not far. They gotta, I'm both Adam and I are going to be at Worlds, and awesome. We'll talk about that later in the episode.
Ooh, that's news to me.
I know, man. I'm so psyched. I'm so incredibly psyched. But I'm hoping that that Pokemon Go does some more East Coast events. Because we need something over here, and maybe they'll do something in New York, maybe they'll do something in Florida. I don't know, but I hope they do, bring some stuff. But let's talk about your content, man. What kind of motivated you to get into creating content, and how long have you been doing it now?
Let's see. I've started last year doing a little bit of live streams here and there on YouTube. I started back a little bit probably exactly around about a year or so, around June or July, and I did just a little bit of live streaming on the side. And who got me into it was, of course, I think everybody's favorite, Trainer Tips.
Yeah.
So I found out Trainer Tips through the first Go Fest. Me and my local friends and stuff like that, we play Pokemon Go. We before like shiny hunting was a big thing. We just played the game normally, and I didn't know there was a whole different world on YouTube. So when I seen Trainer Tips for the first time at Go Fest, on YouTube channel, on the Pokemon Go's YouTube channel, that I seen him and he was giving really good details about how to take down the Lugia raid and all this other stuff. And I was like, man, this guy's pretty cool. I'm like, does he got a channel and stuff? So, I followed him, and then I met, everybody else like Reversal, Pokemon Master Holly, Zoe Two Dots, and all of them. And I just fell in love with how they record, how their styles are. And they basically just motivated me over time. I was like, man, I really want to be a part of this and be able to make some, pretty cool vlogs. Just a lot of people just like to just hang out with me in general, it seems like, on streams. So, I was like, well, I might as well just do some vlogs and stuff like that, see how it goes. And so far I've been pretty well liked, I'm assuming, by some people. So this is awesome. How it came to be, though. And I met Pokegirl 7 in Nashville for the community day that had basically like everybody from Trainer Tips, Pokemon Master Holly, and everybody was down there. DX1 was a big inspiration too. His energy, I loved how he did his live streams and his vlogs as well. And I'll say basically at Trainer Tips, DX1, Pokemon Master Holly definitely got me going for sure.
That's so cool because, it's sometimes I get a little complacent that this game has been going strong for 3 years now. Mm-hmm. And hearing that where, creators within the space of just this game are already influencing new creators to start. I mean, that's just so cool.
Yes.
Because, it's when we talk to people like like Pokemon Master Holly or Zoe or DX1 or Nick from Trainer Tips, it's like, you know, when we ask them where they're drawing their inspiration from, because they got into the YouTube game at the beginning of Pokemon Go, their inspiration came from outside of Pokemon Go. You know, I hear Casey Neistat a lot, you know, different lifestyle and world vloggers. And it's really cool now hearing people that have been in it a year or less, and they're drawing their inspiration from within the community. That's so cool, because that's just, it speaks volumes to how, you know, this community kind of is self-sufficient and just is continuing to grow. And I think that's awesome. So what's your, I mean, I see Pokegirl 7 in a lot of your videos. I mean, you guys seem like you kind of hit it off as friends, you know, and cause I see your face even in your thumbnails and stuff.
Yeah. I was going to say, when I was in Nashville, I found Pokegirl's videos and stuff, her channel, probably about 2 months before Nashville. And I was like, wait, did she say she's from Greenville, Tennessee? It's like not even 2 hours away from here. I'm like, there's somebody local that does this? Like, this is amazing. So that's another person, a big person that has helped my YouTube career out a whole lot. Just being friends of her and Dustin, they're the most down to earth, funnest people I've ever met. So we get along very, very well and stuff like that. We've been doing a couple of videos. Of course, I guess you guys have seen them and stuff. We've been doing the Entei raids and the Raikou raids and all the other stuff. So yeah, we've been doing all that together. We're going to be doing the Suicune Day together as well. So we're going to see. We're having a competition basically of who's going to get the most shinies out of all 3 events. So far, I'm one up on her.
So, it's all about competition.
Yeah,
it's all about friendly competition.
Exactly. I have to at least beat her. I don't know if you guys seen the memes that was going on Twitter about the AirPods. Did anybody
The AirPod thing was hilarious.
Yes.
It was like with the empty case and everything. Yes. I was cracking up.
Yeah, and then I went to Walmart on a live stream. So I told everybody, I said, listen, I'm going to see if she catches on. I'm going to go to Walmart. I bought like fake AirPods for $30. And I covered it up with in my hand for the photo. So when I took a picture, I tagged her on Twitter. I said, "Oh, look, I had to go buy AirPods." And she's like, "Why'd you buy another pair of AirPods? Like $200. You could have just drove here. You're not like 80 miles away from me." And I was like, I just needed them. I just had to have them and stuff. And
that's funny.
She texted me, and I told her, I said, "Oh, I'm live streaming if you want to come and hang out." She came over and started hanging out, and she's like, "Why'd you buy AirPods?" And everybody else in the stream didn't blow my cover. They all knew that we were playing a prank on her. So that was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
No, she seems super cool, man. You gotta nudge her for us, because I want to get her on the show, and I haven't been able to connect with her. Definitely tell her. I want, especially, man, I want to get more East Coast people. It's like, it seems like everyone I'm talking to is on the West Coast. It's like, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like we had Holly on. It's like, now she's over there. And it's like we had DX1 on. You know what I mean? So he's East Coast. He's in Philly area. You know, so that's all good. But it's like, yeah, we need some more East Coast represent.
East Coast people. I know JT Valor's in Florida, so he's East Coast as well.
Yep.
Down south. But
we had JT on.
But he's East Coast. So
yeah, we love JT Valor.
Yeah,
he stayed with us in our Airbnb at GoFest. So
yeah, we had him the last night.
That's right. Because he left the night before we left, and then he was just like, I'm gonna go stay with some others. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's such a small world, man. This community is so freaking awesome. I love it. It's so great.
It's great. And another good friend is Hypnotic Melodic. God, I love him.
Yes, you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
Yes.
So let me shift gears a little bit to talk about some of the nuts and bolts here, because we've had creators of just about every size audience on the show, and one of the things that I really like doing is kind of featuring content creators that don't have these massive audiences that, you know, are going to be able to get in front of new people and all that. So, but I know how exceptionally challenging it can be to develop an audience and acquire new fans and all that. So what are some of the challenges that you get? Because, you know, it's interesting that, you know, you've been doing it for a year, and, you know, you're making it happen. You're putting out content. You're rubbing elbows with, you know, the bigger creators and all that. Is it like, how difficult is it to kind of keep momentum or keep pace with these bigger channels when you don't have necessarily the length or the audience or anything like that, it's gotta be pretty tough. Like, what are some of the challenges? Because I know, like, a lot of people that listen to the show, they're always on the cusp of, because I hear it all the time. They message us like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to do it. And it's like, it's easy for me to just say, like, just freaking do it, just go for it. But, as someone who's in the process of developing a channel and growing an audience, like, what are some of the challenges that you're faced with, and anything you could speak to, like, people that are thinking about starting up a YouTube channel?
Yeah, of course. YouTube is basically, it's a job in itself. It really is. When you go out, you're having fun making videos, then you got to come back and put all those videos clips together. That takes some time and stuff. And I work 40 hours a week, and that's kind of slowed me down a little bit on some videos. I've been making videos at least about every other week or so on the channel. It has slowed down quite a bit because I was finding myself overworking myself, like making, like a video or 2 or 3 every week, and pulling 40 hours, me not getting no sleep. And I'm not going to be, overworking myself to make content that I love, to burn that passion out. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly.
I'm the worst with that.
So yeah, I've talked to some people around my area and stuff like that. They've asked me the same question about starting a channel. I was like, listen, you don't have to start out and just like pump out content, like feel like you got to keep up, because if you make yourself feel like you need to catch up, you're going to put yourself in a lot of worry and all this other stuff. Just go at your pace, do what you can at the moment. You'll get people will come to your channel for you, and doesn't matter if you don't make a video in a week or 2, those people will come back to you that you've made friends and stuff like that through live streams and all this other stuff. So I just tell people not to really, worry about it, because it can mess with you mentally. It can definitely feel like you can feel like, oh my God, I need to make a video, because I felt like that. And I told myself, what I could do is I could off work or something like that. I can go live stream for a couple hours on Twitch and stuff like that, and people will still know me and all this other stuff. I don't have to worry about, oh, is somebody going to forget me and all this other stuff, which I don't really let that bother me too much. But it did creep in my head about the YouTube stuff, about, man, I wish I could make like at least 3 to 4 videos a week. But in reality, if I did do that, I would be overworking myself, because I think when I started making videos back in December, I was popping them out pretty good from December to like about February. But at that time of doing videos, working, I hardly had any time with friends and family and all this other stuff. I was constantly grinding, working a job and making content, and I just did not want to burn myself out on it. So I've been making videos every now and then, here and there, but I've been doing a lot more live streams though, because I love to interact with people on streams than make videos. But I do love making videos, but I just don't want to overwork myself on that part as well. So,
well, it's actually pretty freaking refreshing to hear that, because it's very easy, and I'm without a doubt, I'm 100% guilty of this, but it's very easy to just fall into the trap of, just putting the blinders on and just focusing on, working, getting the stuff pumped out, and not paying attention to self-care and self-maintenance and all that stuff. And it's like, I had to take a couple mental health days, last week, because I was at the point where, my job, between my job and my commute, I'm like 65, almost 70 hours a week with that. And then I'm putting like 25, 30 hours into this.
Yes.
And it's like, and I do it like, I have a 10-year-old son, I'm a homeowner, you know what I mean? So It's like, I'm doing all that. And I try to do all this work like after my son is asleep. So it's like, where can I sacrifice? It's like, I'll sacrifice sleep. It's all good. And I'm not young. You know what I mean? I'm an old fart. I'm 42 years old. So it's like, if I was 20, it's like, yeah, I could go on, 4 hours of sleep. And it's like, shit, man, I'm 42 years old and I'm still running this 4-hour sleep thing, burning the candle at both ends. And it's like, I don't know how I've done it.
Yeah, you gotta slow down there.
I know. It's like, no, shit, let's do more podcasts. Come on. No, but it is refreshing to hear that, man. And good for you, because I think that's super important. Right. And I think live streaming is a fantastic way to kind of achieve that because there's no editing and,
Yes.
you know, it's instant and, you know, you're still putting out content, and the benefit of that is you're interacting with your fans firsthand in real time. And I think that's super
right. And
cool.
there's no cleanup. You know what I mean? You don't have to edit the videos or anything like that. And I know that
Yep.
to speak to what you were saying earlier about, you know, you don't want to burn yourself out or, you know, do it at your own pace. That's how my second GoFest video was. Like, I've just felt so pressured to like get it done. And I was like, but I want it to be right. And then it's like, I thought too much about it. And so it took forever because I was like, ugh, I don't.
Yes.
Well, when you overthink it, that's when you start putting this crazy freaking mental, you know, stress on yourself, and it's like, dude, this should be fun. And it'd be one thing if, you know, you're independently wealthy and you could just sit on this shit all day and just think about it. But it's like, if you got, you know, if you're working a career or you got a family or doing other stuff, it's an exceptionally hard balance. I mean, I'm the type of nerd that has gone to like seminars about time management and, you know, read books on time management, and I have bullet journals and all that shit, you know, but because I'm just so busy that it's like, I just got to find a way. And it's, you know, it's all possible, you know, but it is refreshing to hear that from a creator that's in the front of your mind. So that's great. So now that being said, and how you say you love your vlogs, you know, you have a connection with your fans. Is there anything that's important to you with your content as far as getting a specific feeling or vibe across to your fans, or when you're making content, you want to, like you said, trainer tips, you know, Holly, Zoe, whatever, they have their own style, and you can kind of feel that when you watch their content. Is there anything like to you that is important to you when you're putting out your stuff?
I like to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more comedy involved with my stuff.
Nice.
I just want people to come and, like, when I come to a video, they're just gonna have a fun time. I might act a little goofy, funny, you know, just be who you are, be a little bit, you know, you don't put on, like, I don't put on a show to be like, oh, this is who I am off the camera, and on the camera, you get what you see. Basically, this is me. So
yeah, and I can definitely tell that watching your videos.
Yeah, this is just me, and I just want to say to myself, I don't want to make a persona, like I'm somebody different, and then when you meet me, it's like, oh, he's totally different in person. I just want to be a little bit funny, you know, just realistic person, you know.
You know, like it's just like you feel like you're there. I don't know how to explain it better than that, but it's like, I don't know, you just make people feel welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I want to do, and just live streaming. Like I said, I just love hanging out with people, and there's been quite a few in my live streams now. There's been probably between 20 to 30 some people bounce in and out quite a bit on Twitch, so it is growing pretty good, and a lot of people keep coming back. So I'm definitely having a blast on Twitch live streaming. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, Melissa's not here, you know, my wife, but she's like the fucking most real person I know in the world. And, you know, it's funny that you're talking about personas and all that shit, because, you know, she keeps my ass in check, because, you know, there's a lot of times where, you know, I come on here and I have the game show voice and I'm super fucking positive and I'm doing all this hokey dokey campy shit, you know, and then it's like that we hit stop and she'll like fucking smack me like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this isn't you. Like, you know, check yourself. And it's like, thank you, babe. You know, it's like, because it is hard to not fall into, you know, the persona to a degree of, you know, where you start to lose yourself. And she's great at keeping my ass in check. And I'm so glad for that, because it's like, yes, I you know, because the community and the audience will see through that shit.
Exactly.
Like real quick. So it's, it's super important, especially in a live stream setting, because, you know, they'll call you out on it. And, you know, the Pokemon Go community is not afraid to be vocal.
Oh,
so
no.
it's like, you know, so if they see that shit, they're going to let you know about it. But that's awesome, man. Yeah. And Adam, that's a good point. Cause I feel the same thing too. When I'm watching your content, you're just kind of like walking around grinding. It's like, yo, this is mad chill. It's like, it just seems exceptionally real and organic. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what's the future hold for you, man? Like where do you want this to go? And, you know, what are the short and long-term goals of your channel? I mean, you know, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of creators that are creating video content in any capacity, you know, travel is typically something that they integrate. Is that something that you want to do? Do you want to, you know, try to leave the East Coast for a little bit? Like, I know you said you were at Chicago and stuff. Is travel something you'd like to do?
Yes, I definitely want to travel. I'm hoping I've got a lot of Australian friends because I live stream at midnight hours, basically. So, instead of me editing a video at midnight, making a video, I just go out and live stream
in connection.
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and the Australians are up. They're like about midday or so for them, and so they come and hang out. And I definitely want to go to a safari zone. Hopefully, they'll have one maybe by the end of this year, because it'll be summertime around December for them. So I'd love to go to Australia. I definitely want to go to Australia because Japan. I really wanted to go to Japan this year. They asked me if I was going, Tom Cruise and everybody, but I just couldn't budget it in. I could have, but I'd be living in my car. Yep.
Totally
it's almost worth it. It's almost worth it for that, because I've been seeing her vlogs lately, and I'm just like, I just want to be there so bad so I can get some shinies and then hang out with everybody. But I'm like, man. So
I did the same thing. Like, I put a tweet up the other day. It was like, I'm seeing everybody killing it from Japan, and here I am taking the fucking garbage out, about to go to work.
Yes, that was funny. I was just like, I'm right there with you. I'm just like, keep making good content, boys.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. You're a fucking real dude, and I think that's super important in this space. And I wish you the best of luck with your channel, man. Keep doing what you're doing, because I'm very confident that your channel is going to continue to grow, because you have the right attitude, and you have the right focus, and you're rubbing elbows with the right people. So keep on doing what you're doing. Why don't you let our community know? I'll put links in the description, but let our community know where they can find you, and where should people go to check you out.
All right, go to YouTube, TSlayers. Just type it in the search bar. TSlayers should pop up. And TSlayers 8989 on Twitch. That's my Twitch handle. And can I give a little shout out to some people as well?
Yeah, absolutely, go for it.
Okay, my friend who got me definitely into YouTube, how to edit videos and how to make videos, Logan, Trolls Almighty. You might have seen him on some of my videos. So he helped me basically how to teach me how to do Photoshop. He taught me how to edit videos, all this other stuff, what programs to use. So he's been a big factor of me, and I use all of his music. All my YouTube vlogs are his music that he makes. So I'll have a link in the description, because he just dropped the album back in June.
Oh, wow.
So I'll put that in there as well. My latest video that dropped today of the Ralts Community Day has one of his songs in there. So
I was actually watching that video today, and I was listening to his stuff on Spotify, because you had the link in there. So Logan, good shout out to you, man, because that shit was good.
Yes, so he's growing as well.
That's awesome.
And his channel's Trolls Almighty. He's been doing a lot of different like Rainbow Six multiple games. Just now he's been doing fishing vlogs. So he's been doing a little bit of everything. He's just random, and I love it, because his content is just all over the place. But it's hilarious though.
Awesome. We'll definitely, make sure that when you check out TSlayers content, look in the description and support. So that's what this community is all about, is, coming from within, developing from within, and supporting each other. So make sure you check that out. But TSlayers, pleasure meeting you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone else, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to run through the news, including our Ralts Community Day wrap up. I had my best community day ever, so I'll talk about that, and we'll get into Yokohama, the gifting event, Worlds, Team Go Rocket, listener emails, all that shit. And TSlayers, thanks again, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Ken and Adam. It was a pleasure.
You got it, guys. All right, man. Hold on. We'll be right back.
Hold up, everyone. Are you ready for a sing-along? Slow poke in a reggae style. Pokemon. Come in. Slow.
And we're back from our break. TSlayers, thank you so much for coming on. Nice guy.
Yeah, he was wicked nice.
Dude, you're so New Hampshire. He's wicked nice.
He's wicked.
You're so New England. No, man, he's a real dude, man. I definitely appreciate that. And make sure you check him out, man. Help him grow his channel. It's I love talking to creators that, have small audiences that are hungry, that are pushing, because it's just you get the realness.
It's
and,
refreshing.
I definitely feel that talking to him. It is refreshing. So
like a nice
definitely check him out.
New England homemade glass of lemonade.
I was like, where's he going with this? He's going to say a beer or something. All right, guys, let's get caught up with the news here. We're going to go over Ralts Community Day, GoFest Yokohama, the gifting event, PvP Invitational at Worlds, Team Rocket, all that good stuff. Got a lot of stuff going on here. So, Adam, let's get through this. How did your Ralts Community Day go?
At 4, I left work for my break and was able to play for an hour. I ended up with 5 shinies, and they were all from the first hour.
Nice.
Got back to work, had my Go Plus going, and did not catch another shiny.
But you got your 5. Were you able to get at least one male, one female?
I was. And I was
All
able
right.
to evolve them up and everything, so mission accomplished.
Good.
So I can't
Good,
be too
good.
mad. But I am mad when I think about how your Ralts Community Day went.
Okay. So normally, Saturday community days I typically can't play. So I'm changing jobs this week. I'm starting a new job. My last day at my current job is Tuesday. I'm starting a new job on Wednesday. The dealership, I work for Volkswagen. The dealership that I work for was sold, and didn't want to leave anything up to chance, so I secured another job working at a different dealership. So I'm completely mentally checked out from my current job. So Saturday morning rolls around, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't fucking going to work today. I was like, I'm going to play fucking Pokemon. So I did.
I mean, it's the adult thing to do, right?
Well, look, my last paycheck is coming tomorrow. It's secure. You know what I'm saying? It's like I owed it to myself to take the day, so I did. And I went fucking hard. Now, remember, Josh, my son Josh, and Melissa are on vacation in Florida visiting Melissa's mom. So I did this community day by myself. So I didn't have any distractions, any holdups, no food breaks, no pee-pee breaks, nothing. So I went fucking hard as hell. I drove the whole time. I played in Red Bank, which, again, 35, 40 stops, insane amount of spawns everywhere, and I went fucking hard. I caught 433 Ralts, and I got 27 shiny.
27?
Dude,
it's bananas.
You don't even know. Like the shiny rates that I was getting was insane. I had 11 shiny at the end of the first hour alone.
Wow.
And in the second hour slowed down, significantly, maybe something like 9 or something like that. And then I made up for it in the final hour. But I ended up hatching 27 10Ks. And then I did 3 raids. I did 3 Rayquaza raids during the window. So I could have caught more, but I did go and do 3 Rayquaza raids, which I didn't get any shiny. But let's recap the day. So we had quarter egg hatch distance. Now, for the first time, Niantic puts a tweet out saying that all the eggs that come during the Community Day window will be 10K eggs, and they're going to be Ralts. And the shiny rate for Ralts in the eggs is going to be the same as a wild Ralts. So, 1 in 20, 1 in 25, whatever it is. They also say that Ralts is going to be available in raids. I didn't see a single Ralts raid. And there's, 7-8 gyms visible in Red Bank. None of them popped a Ralts.
Wow.
So I didn't see any of those. I don't know if you had any gyms by you that you saw.
No, not at my work, no. There's absolutely no gyms. There's like one Pokestop in visual distance.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but, none in my area at all that I was playing. But we did have the 3-hour lures, the exclusive move, Synchronoise, available for Gardevoir and Gallade. There's been some analysis done on this move. So we had some analysis coming over from Game Press. It is a 80 power, 2-bar psychic type charge move. It costs 50 energy. Same stats for PvP and PvE. Not the best move when it comes to what we're used to seeing as a Community Day exclusive move. As far as, PvE, if you're doing like a Machamp raid with a Gardevoir, Dazzling Gleam is going to be is going to be better. if you're going to be like, going up against fighting types for, damage output. It does improve Gallade's, psychic DPS significantly, but, Dazzling Gleam against Machamp is going to be better. But, it's a cool move. And remember, guys, it's Synchronize, not Synchronize, because I've heard so many people when they talk about it say Synchronize. Synchronize is a completely different move.
Synchronize.
Actually, it's an ability.
Oh, I thought this attack was Synchronize.
Synchronize. Synchronize, like the noise.
Noise.
Oh, and shout out to the new appraisal system. This was the greatest freaking thing ever for Community Day. Absolutely awesome. It was very, very cool that we were able to quickly run through all of our Pokemon and identify, I remember when the appraisal system came out, everyone was like, this is going to be great for Community Day. And it was. It was absolutely awesome. I also hatched 100% Shinx from an egg that I was sitting on, waiting to start, with Community Day, so I got the quarter egg distance. And I ended up getting 2 98% Ralts, one that I brought up to a Gardevoir, one that I kept as a Ralts. And I also got a really good Gallade for PvP with a 0 attack stat, 15 defense, 14 stamina. So I think it's ranked 16 for PvP, which is really, really nice. So I got that as well. But I really enjoyed this. I don't know how the spawns were just freaking bananas by me. Like it was absolutely insane. But
yeah, the spawns were up there. I just didn't catch that many shiny ones.
No, but still though, 5 in an hour is still good. Did you do your Lowe's parking lot thing?
No, I was at work, so I only got to walk the mall for a little bit, and then I got my car and then drove around the mall parking lot area.
All right, well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. They typically in a week or so we'll know what the next one's going to be. This was the last month that they had kind of given us the dates ahead of time, so hopefully we'll get September, October, November, December. So we could put those on our calendar. Hopefully they give us all those dates going forward, make our
and hopefully they link up with their
easier.
The tournament schedule for the TCG, and it doesn't fall on the regionals.
Oh, so it throws so you can do one or the other.
Yeah.
I
mean, I can have the Go Plus, but there's only so much it can do.
Yeah. Yep. So I just texted Melissa. Because, TSlayers, when we hit stop on the recording, he was just like, oh, I'm so bummed that Melissa wasn't on. So I just texted Melissa, I just got done recording with TSlayers. He was so bummed that you weren't on. She wrote back, oh, I'm so loved. It's my charming personality.
If that's what we want to call it.
Yeah, I guess. Cold, evil, dark heart of hers. So awesome. All right, let's shift gears over to GoFest Yokohama. This is happening the 6th through the 12th. So just as you hear this, GoFest is going to be starting over in Yokohama. A bunch of the YouTubers are out there. So the content is a-flowing on YouTube, so you could definitely follow them along there. It's happening at 3 separate parks. Now, what makes this a little bit unique is obviously the volume of trainers that attend these Japan events is massive. Millions of people go, as opposed to, 60,000 that we were seeing in Europe and the States. It's taking place over, it's the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 7 days, a full week of GoFest, right?
Wow.
3 separate parks it's taking place in. So 3 separate locations. You have to take transportation between the parks. Chatot is the Pokemon that's breaking region lock, and Shiny Poliwag was what they announced today. So Poliwag family will be, added to the game globally on the 6th. So as you hear this...
See, I thought it was going to be Hoppip.
Well, that's what they had in the poster, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's very strange that they ended up going with Poliwag. And I don't know if there's any relevance to Japan and Poliwag or what, but yeah, definitely Poliwag because they made an official announcement. I'm assuming they're going to have very similar Jirachi special research. I think it was during the Dortmund one, they kind of talked about what the different regions were going to be, the different biomes. They didn't kind of give us a heads up of what's out there yet for Japan, so I'm not sure if it's going to be a combination of what was in Chicago and Dortmund or what, but I'm sure it's going to be very similar, and the Jirachi quest will follow a very similar path that we saw at the previous 2 GoFests. With the GoFest brings the next global challenge. This is Blanche's global challenge now, which is all about Stardust. Adam, you want to run through the different tasks here of what the trainers need to accomplish?
All right. So for Instinct, we need 25 million research tasks, which will give us 3,000 Stardust from every raid we do.
Nice.
For Valor, 25 million research tasks, we'll get 3 times Hatch Stardust. All the attendees, 2 million research tasks, and then that will give everybody 3 times Catch Stardust. And then for Mystic, 25 million research tasks equals 1 hour star piece, which is huge for all you grinders.
Yep.
And the bonuses are going to run from Tuesday, August 13th to Tuesday, August 20th. And our bonus unlock, just like the past ones, is going to be the last of the legendary dogs, Suicune Raid Day on Saturday, August 17th.
So when the Pokemon Go Live put out and I'll link to it in the description, but when they put the first page up on the website about the Global Challenge, at the very bottom of the page, they said that there was going to be a special unlock if every unlock was completed for all 3 Go Fests. So obviously we know that everything in Chicago, everything in Dortmund was completed. I'm very, very confident that everything in Japan is going to be completed as well. So let's put our tinfoil hats on. What could this super, mega, super duper unlock be?
We're going to unlock...
Could it be more Shinies?
Shiny Abra and Shiny Clefairy.
You think that was what it was?
Well, didn't they say that they messed up for the Chicago?
Well, they never really... They said they messed up, but they didn't say... Like, people were assuming that was the unlock. But that, they never really came around and said that.
I think it's that.
Is that a super bonus mega unlock, though?
Okay, they'll give us Shadow Lugia. I get it. Okay. We have to be right when we call things, okay? So it's one of those 2 things.
Yeah.
Because we called Rayquaza on the following
Melissa
podcast.
did call Shiny Rayquaza. We'll talk about that in the miscellaneous news section. But no, you know what, man? I think you might be right there because... Yeah, I totally forgot about the whole Abra Clefairy thing. Shit. Maybe that's what it'll be. All right. Gifting event. This is a new event that was just announced. It's going to be starting tomorrow, August 5th, running through the 19th. So by the time you hear this podcast, it will be active.
Does it start at a certain time, or is it just...
I don't know, probably 1 p.m. That's usually what it is. I never note that because it's kind of consistent now. But all eggs received from gifts during the event will require 2K to hatch. They will look like 2K eggs, but don't worry, trainers. Pokemon that hatch from them will be the ones that normally appear in 7K eggs, regardless of whether you incubate or hatch them during or after the event. So all you have to do is acquire the eggs during the 5th through the 19th in the event window. And these, I don't know what you want to call them, 2K eggs with 7K goodies inside. For the duration of the event, the number of gifts you can open will increase to 30, which is huge. So as far as building friendship, that's really big. For the duration of the event, the number of gifts you can carry in your inventory will increase from 10 to 20. So now double the amount of gifts, an extra 50% on how many that you can open. And then, if you're lucky, Mystic 7, this one's for you, you can hatch a shiny Bonsly. That's the real deal.
I can't wait to see his videos of just trying to grind until he gets it.
Trying to hatch, like the funny faces, like I love when he does that.
And then he's gonna go back into his box and be like, "There's the shiny. I missed it."
Oh yeah, no animation.
Yes,
that'd be the worst.
I'm calling that.
With TSlayers, we kind of brought up Pokemon Worlds, which is a very exciting time of year. Especially exciting this year because it's in Washington, D.C. It's about 3 hours for me. Adam, what is it, 9 hours for you?
Yes, yeah.
It's August 16th through the 18th, so 2 weeks away. Right after the opening ceremonies on Friday, the 16th, there will be the first ever Pokemon Go PvP Invitational at Worlds. This is freaking huge. Now, the big difference here is... As far as the TCG, the VGC, Pokken Tournament is concerned, these are tournaments that have been running all year that culminate at the event. This event is more of the PvP thing for Go is more of an exhibition because there was no precursor to it. There was no, regionals, there was no score bracketing or anything like that. They're just hosting a tournament. But It's going to be streamed on the official Pokemon channel, twitch.tv/Pokemon. It's an 8-player tournament, best of 5, double elimination, single species. They're going to announce a couple other restrictions to be announced. The competitors, get this. Masuda and Morimoto from Game Freak, fucking huge already. Unlisted Leaf, who is an Australian TCG YouTuber. Strawberry17, who is an American YouTuber that does gaming and food stuff and candy stuff. Like, she's got a very, very diverse YouTube channel. Yamada, who was part of the Pokemon Go Travel. He's a Japanese Pogo YouTuber. Poke AK, friend of the show, who's an American Pogo PvP YouTuber from Alaska. King IV, we've had him on the show. PvP YouTuber, PvP coach. He's commentated the Sylph Arena tournaments. Plus, one lucky fan, which is bizarre. So, you've got Poke AK and King, who have a shit ton of PvP experience, going up against another Pogo YouTuber, people outside of the Pogo space, and then fucking Masuda and Morimoto from Game Freak, and then one lucky fan. Like, I can't see this going any other way between it being King IV and Poke AK in the finals.
Yep.
Sorry, everybody else.
Well, maybe the lucky fan is a PvPer.
Yeah, it'll be Valorash.
No, it'll be Matty F Baby.
Masticore. No, man, but any way you look at it,
He'll show up.
Things
Pokeball
are happening with. Yes, that'd be great. But
you want to
things
battle
are
with
happening
me?
in the PvP world. Like, this is happening. Like, this is very, very exciting because we've talked about for months and months and months. Does Pokemon Go PvP have what it takes to be on a world stage? Does it have what it takes to stand on its own legs at something like Worlds? And here we go. Here it is. Oh yeah, it's being the commentators for the event, Nick from Trainer Tips, and Aaron Cybertron Zeng, who is a VGC competitor and has done commentary for Nintendo and Pokemon Company before. So tons of experience. He has a tweet out there right now, which is great, saying like, "Hey, who can help me with Pokemon Go PvP? I kind of want to make sure I do this right." Because he's from the VGC world, which is really funny. But I'm fucking hyped for this because I'm not going to be there Friday. I'm gonna try to get there late Saturday night and then stay overnight, and then on Sunday, I'll let the cat out of a bag a little bit. Having a meeting with Go Stadium at Pokemon Worlds. That's all I can say to it at this point.
Ooh.
But I know I'm just putting a little teaser out there. I'm meeting with the Go Stadium crew to have a meeting when I'm out there at Worlds. Can't freaking wait. But Adam, you're going to be competing in the DC Open for the 2020 TCG season. Are you psyched or what?
I'm psyched. I'm still I ordered some cards. I still don't know what I want to play, but I have a good feeling about a deck that I built, and I don't know. I'm nervous though, but I know I'm gonna have fun.
You ready for the new format?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've been testing this forever, so I really hope I do well.
I'm confident for you, man. I'm rooting for you. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. You'll be fine, you guys. All right, Team Go Rocket Guide. This is coming from PokemonGoHub.net. Have you been seeing a high amount of Team Go Rocket stuff in your area?
Yes.
So it seems like they've turned up the frequency for sure. I'm seeing it all over the place now. I love the fact that the Team Go Rocket stuff is not locked by time, and you could come across this stuff 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's still out there. It's still happening. So Pokemon Go Hub put together a nice article that talks about the different hints that the Team Rocket grunts will say prior to you battling them that kind of give you the insight of what Pokemon they could potentially be using. So make sure you check out the link in the description so you can prepare yourself, because I recommend building out a bunch of PvP battle parties so you're prepped for what you could potentially be facing. And then the other good thing here is, let's say you don't pay attention to the little hint they give you, and it ends up being like a triple Snorlax party, and your normal party just gets its ass handed to itself. You could just rematch. So if you have a party built, it's going to be very easy to just rematch and use the right party, to go back in there and clean things up. But when they did the Team Rocket event, the Team Rocket Takeover event, I was lucky enough to get a Snorlax. And
yeah, same here. It was my first one.
And then they announced, 2-3 days ago, 11 new Shadow Pokemon, added to the mix, added to the pool of Pokemon. Poliwag, Grimer, Muck, Drowsy, Hypno, Cubone, Scyther, Magikarp, Houndour, Houndoom, and then they say Ralts, but they put a little coming soon. So everyone was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be cool. You're going to actually be able to get, Shadow Ralts on Community Day. And it didn't happen. Ralts is still not available. No Shadow Ralts available yet in the game. So I'm not sure when they plan on dropping this.
Gosh, people.
No, but like, why would they say it? And like right before Ralts Community Day, like you would think if they say it and they say coming soon, that okay, that means that they're going to wait for Community Day, but they didn't. So that's the only thing that's still going to be coming. They also noted that for the future, any Shadow Pokemon will not learn the Community Day move. So if you evolve, so let's say whenever they do finally release Shadow Ralts, if you get a Shadow Ralts and you hold on to that Pokemon and evolve it during a Community Day, well, obviously not Ralts, but like a future Pokemon that like a Cubone, and then they do a Cubone Community Day, you evolve into Marowak, it will not learn the exclusive move for Community
What about
Day.
Purified? Do you think Purified will be able to learn?
I don't know, because I think that they only say Shadow in the clarification. Interesting. We'll have to look into that. We haven't seen this in a while, but Niantic put out a blog post with their Developer Insight series. I don't know if you, Adam, if you had a chance to read this. It's actually a really long article. Where the devs kind of talk about how they developed the Team Rocket thing and why they did what they did. And right out of the gate, there was a really interesting thing here, and I'll read this quote. This is coming from Jake Jeffries, who's the tech lead manager. He says, quote, "We wanted to make PvE and PvP have a lower barrier to entry to players," end quote.
Stardust.
Yeah, right. But right away, it's saying that the Team Rocket thing is designed to lower that barrier of entry to the PvP mechanics. That's exactly what we were thinking. So that's really good to hear. And then another really interesting tidbit from the article was how they talk about the initial rollout, how they rolled it out and then they dialed it back, and then they, did a full launch of it, and everyone was like, oh, why did they turn it off? Like, was something fucked up, or was this intentional?
Yeah, it was intentional.
In fact, it was intentional, right? So they said that the initial rollout was part of the marketing campaign. They wanted to, do a stress test, and then ultimately, test the behaviors of the trainers actually playing it. So this was all in the cards from the beginning, the way they rolled it out, took it back, and then globally released it. So they said that, and it was a good thing, because when they were testing, user behavior, that's what led to them finding some of the issues with trading Shadow Pokemon and IV rerolls and all that kind of stuff. That,
because too many people were getting 100%.
100%, right. That was all screwy. So it was all part of the test. But really, really cool article. I'll link to it in the description. It kind of pulls the curtain back and explains the thought process of why and how they did things with the Team Rocket rollout. So make sure you check that out, because there's a lot of really cool insight. And it's called Developer Insight. Go figure. All right, miscellaneous news. We got a little bit of it. Pokemon Go received the Sport in Life Award. This was pretty exciting. From the Sports Agency, which is a subsidiary of Japan's Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology. You can read about that on PokemonGoLive.com's blog page. I'll put a link to that. Let's jump over to Go Ranger for a quick check-in.
What's up, everybody? It is Go Ranger Matt, and this is the Go Ranger check-in.
All right, as we mentioned earlier, Melissa did call Shiny Rayquaza coming to Tier 5 raids last week. This is exciting. It's here all month. Adam, have you been able to do any?
Nope. Tomorrow will be my day that I get to do at least one. So
Okay.
It's just I got out of work today, and nobody, the chats were dead because there were no Rayquazas, there were no eggs after I got out of work. So I was like, ugh.
So I got very lucky on the day it first launched. I did 4, and on my third Rayquaza, it was shiny. So I got very, very lucky. I think it's like a 1 in 25 or something like that. 1 in 20, 1 in 25. So I've heard people, there was someone in my group that did 60 of them and didn't get any shinies yet. So
that is unfortunate.
Yeah, so let us know how you guys are doing with Shiny Rayquaza, if you've picked any up yet, or if you've been doing them and just have no luck. The Global Challenge window, as we mentioned earlier, will be the GoFest window, the 6th through the 12th, so make sure you're completing as many research tasks as possible. The Global Challenge bonuses will be running the 13th through the 20th. Our current, and again, just to recap our older stuff, the current research breakthrough available through September 1st, the Jumpstart with Friends bonus through September 2nd. Also, PV Poke came out with a fantastic update where they have a completely freshly built original battle simulator, which kind of functions, if you're used to or know anything about Pokemon Showdown, how they kind of rebuilt the ability to have a turn-based combat with the VGC. It's almost like that, where you can battle, it's not against another person, you can battle AI opponents, but real-time battle, so it's almost like you're playing Go inside of PV Poke in PvP. It's awesome. So you can test your moves, you can put in your exact stats of your Pokemon, their moveset, all that stuff, and you can test your shield strategies. It's amazing. It's exceptionally in-depth, and it works, and it functions great. Check out, PV Poke for more info. I'll put the link in the description. All right, we got a couple user emails here, and you guys can write some fucking emails here, because these things are long. I'm reading through them, so I'll kind of summarize them.
Well, just really quick on the research tasks and stuff for the event, I feel like we should just sabotage it and just not complete any.
What? Why?
Because it's Suicune.
Don't get But I want my super bonus mega super
I don't
duper
want
unlock.
the super bonus mega ultra super thing.
It's funny because when we were doing Entei, everyone was cracking jokes saying is everyone going to be one and done when Suicune comes out? Like as soon as they get their shiny, everyone's going to bail. You know what I mean? It's
I'll be in World, so hopefully there's a gym that they just magically make appear because
you're going to be golden, dude. There's going to be freaking people raiding everywhere. It's going to be great. Oh, and I'm sure there's going to be unknown there. I'm sure.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, we'll be stocking up. But yes, all right. Listener emails. Let me run through some of this stuff. First one comes from Jolt Switch, and this is really technical. Now, Jolt Switch is someone who has a lot of experience with the main series games, so he kind of gets technical here, but I'll kind of summarize. He's replying to the email that we read from Just Jack last week about status conditions and special conditions coming to Pokemon Go. And he says he's trying to figure out a way to have status effects work in PvP. Each turn does last half a second. If the status move is reliant on the move of the Pokemon, it would be painful to have implemented, especially with moves like Confusion that last so much longer than others. That can make working of it painful to players and Niantic. To keep it equal, set the literal term of turns. So 5 turns would be 2.5 seconds, because in Pokemon Go, each turn is half a second. Poison, paralysis, and sleep would all need to be worked differently. Poison, we need to define damage dealt per turn or 2, and in the main series in battle was per turn. Outside of battle, it was 3 or 4 steps, because even outside of battle, there could still be prolonged effects to these status conditions. So that's another thing to take into consideration. And he says, sleep may be a pattern mini-game that you need to complete while your opponent continues attacking. Completing wakes up your Pokemon. So that's a great freaking point. Maybe
because they're already on that path with all the moves.
Yes, like with the charge moves, maybe you have to do that.
I love it.
That's kind of cool. And he just says, there's all sorts of way to do it. Niantic will just need to figure it out in the long run. This is a great conversation because it is missing from the game. And it is interesting to see what and how they could possibly do this. I have no idea. But a lot of good ideas here, Jolt Switch. Thank you so much for writing in. I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
Even with Harry Potter, with the different patterns, it's just like that. So maybe they have to, they throw up this pattern where it's going to kind of take away from your ability to tap or your ability to fire off a charge move. And
they could even just throw in the sleep as a big Z, and you just have to do it just like in Harry Potter Wizards Unite. You just
yeah. Very, very cool. Very cool.
And it doesn't wake you up until it's perfect.
Oh shit! Yeah, people getting pissed. All right, next email is from Sir Amanda. And again, she starts off by going, afterwards I realized this is longer than intended. Oh well. But I'll summarize the beginning of it. She talks about how in the main series game, she's super into breeding and how she would hate to waste TMs because they were so, scarce, that she would try to, transfer moves by breeding, creating spreadsheets and all this crazy shit of how to do it. And then someone showed her Pokemon Showdown, and she discovered that Tier 5 was underused, and she found out ways that she can ultimately, get what she wanted to do out of her movesets as far as being effective, because she would never actually do the battles for the moves. She would just breed. But she writes, and this is the part I'll read directly from the email. It says, I thought with the recent discussion point on the podcast about how Great League isn't the only way to PvP. I could see how that could be a turnoff to people who do enjoy seeing their Mewtwo nuke things, but I'm totally in the Great League party because it seems to invite more interesting matchups than just Mewtwo, Tyranitar, Metagross, Kyogre, and whatever. That being said, I was wondering, what is better for Great League? Getting a Pokemon that caps perfectly at 1500, or IV spread as close to 0, 15, 15 as possible, as long as it's under 1500, of course. On the list of stuff to chase for me, I've been keeping a Pokemon that hit 1497 to 1500, but if 0, 15, 15 carries a lot more weight, then I should probably shift my focus to that, right? I want to know someday, so if I do decide to throw out, I have options ready to go. Peace, Sir Amanda.
Yeah, see, it's not even the 0, 15, 15 or the 1500 IVs, because like I have 100% that are 1499. That's my Electrode,
Yes.
but he gets wrecked. Because it's about getting the Pokemon to level 40 and still being under the 1500.
Well, that's gonna be a rarity. Like a Pokemon like Medicham can do that. It can max out under 1500, fully 100% all the way. So where I'm going to direct you here is, and I'll put the link in the description, Go Stadium has an absolutely fantastic tool where you can put your, obviously now we're going to know exactly what IVs our Pokemon are because of the new appraisal system. So you can go on this tool, put your Pokemon in, put in your exact IVs, and it's going to show you the top 25 IV spreads for that Pokemon for whatever league you're competing in. So it'll show you sometimes 0, 15, 15 is not the best spread, even if it, caps out over 1500. Sometimes you're going to want 3, 14, 15, or 3, 15, 14. Like it's going to be different per Pokemon depending on how their stats roll out. So there's no real way, one way or another, but you definitely don't want to use CP as your number one gauge. Because like Adam was saying, he could have 100% Pokemon. It could be 1500 CP, but it's going to be at such a low level that it's just going to get crushed. But then there's going to be certain Pokemon like Medicham that you want 15, 15, 15 because it can max out under 1500 CP.
Yeah, pretty much.
Use the spreadsheet.
Yeah, pretty much what I do is I now, when I'm catching things, if I see that, the HP and defense are really high and the attack is somewhere in the middle, I look at that like that's a PvP Pokemon.
Right.
And
like
then I run it through the Discord PvP bot.
Which pretty much does the same thing as the Go Stadium thing. I mean, it's like I caught a Ralts that was 0, 15, 14. And, out of all the IV combinations of a Pokemon, I think there's like over 4,000 different combinations of the 3 IV stats. So, and the Ralts that I caught, actually, when I evolved it up to the Glade, it was 16th out of, over 4,000 combinations. So, it does make it difficult without using these tools. But rule of thumb is if it's 100% and it can, obviously power up under 1500 like Medicham, that's what you want. But otherwise, you got to find that right spread to give you the highest possible level without going over 1500, which typically is going to mean a lower attack stat. But it does vary by Pokemon to Pokemon, so it does make it really, really confusing to figure out. And again, we're only talking about the Great League here. But Sir Amanda, great email. I think that, as PvP is developed, hopefully more and more tools will start coming to the game proper, and it'll make it a little bit more accessible and understanding for more trainers.
Yeah, that was a really good email. Thank you for writing in.
Next email from Legendary Moo. Says, hey everyone, it's a joy to listen to the show, and meeting y'all at the Mareep Up was a blast. I'm Legendary Moo. Yes, thank you. Legendary Moo came to our Mareep Up, our meetup at Chicago Go Fest, so it was really cool meeting him. Says, as far as PvP IVs go in Great and Ultra League and what's optional, I really don't believe it's required to find a 0, 15, 15 or whatever nerd stats are optimal for each guy. I totally agree with Melissa that not using 100% Mons is dumb for sure. He goes, I went back and watched the video from the Mareep Up, and you can see the IVs of the Mons I use, and for the most part, they aren't optimal. as the most competitive levels, optimal nerd numbers mattered more, especially in mirror match situations. So again, I'm going to point you to the Go Stadium PvP analysis, because it's really only at the, what, like he says here, at the most competitive levels, optimal nerd numbers matter more. Only then does this shit really, really matter if you're trying to be hyper competitive. Because if you're not, you know what I mean? It's like, just fucking have fun with it. You know, it's like, it's really only at that elite level or that hyper competitive level where, you know, a Pokemon that's 4 levels lower than the other one is going to matter. You know, and if you're in a Silph Arena tournament, you're going up against some heavy hitters and you're trying to place well and you're trying to win, yeah, that all that stuff is going to matter. But if you're just having fun and doing, you know, pickup match PvP or basic shit, you know, hanging out, having fun, I don't think that stuff matters nearly as much as, you know, these guys that are running sims, you know, on PvPoke to, you know, optimize their teams. I just don't see it as, you know, as necessity. So, you know, Legendary Moo, thanks for the email. I agree with you. Yes, it is dumb that, you know, you don't want to use 100% mons, but again, just limited to the Great or Ultra where you have a CP cap. And hopefully we'll see, you know, more Master League stuff coming forward. Now, we still don't know the invitational that's happening at Worlds. We still don't know what the restrictions are going to be. So it'll be interesting to see how Pokemon Go proper and Pokemon proper has a take on PvP.
And do we know
because
how they're picking the lucky fan? Or is that still to be determined yet? It'll probably be somebody in the audience.
Oh, that'd be crazy. You know what? I'm not actually sure about that. I didn't research that.
I'll be there.
But yeah, it's Adam. Yeah! No, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what format they do pick, because if they do Master League, that's gonna, like, you know, that will kind of level the playing field and will, you know, really put it in the type advantage hands. And, you know, the strategies that Poke AK and King IV will have may not be as important. You know, where, you know, Masuda could say, like, look, I've got, you know, a team of, you know, maxed out 100% level 40 Pokemon. It's like, all right, well, now the tides have turned a little bit. It'll be interesting to hear for sure. But Adam, we did it.
We have done it.
To show. I miss Melissa. She didn't give me any shit.
No, I'm sure it's coming. On the flight back, it's coming.
She doesn't listen to these episodes. You kidding me?
Secretly, Josh is like listening to
Thank you guys so much for checking us out. We really do appreciate it. You can email us, just like we had so many great emails today, all about PvP. I love that. info@luredup.com, or you can just visit luredup.com and use the contact form that's there. Also, you can leave us a voicemail, 732-835-8639. I talked to Terry Wolf. He said, just wait till the summer's over. I'll be back on the phone. He's like, I just gotta make it through the summer. It's been crazy. So once the summer ends, we'll get Terry's drunk voicemails and live chats back online. But yeah, you can email us, info@luredup.com. Check out PokemonProfessor.com for everything that we're doing. And Adam, you got anything else?
Go to Worlds. It'll be fun.
It's only $10 for spectator pass.
10 buckaroonies.
$10. If you go, ping us on Twitter. Let us know. We'll try to hook up with you guys and say hello. Get some raids in if we can.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah. Keep training, trainers. We'll see everybody next week.